Hey everyone, so now that we've done customizing our player and creating our thumbnail sprite, the next thing that we're going to start doing is coding. Once we're done with this section, you can start testing out your game, playing it, make sure that it runs good, make sure that your player doesn't get stuck anywhere in your level, making sure that your level is how you want it to be. So that'll all come a little bit later, but let's just focus on right now on our coding. We're going to start with our thumbnail code. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to click on our events tab and add when green flag is clicked. After that, we're going to go inside of our motions tab and we're going to add a go to X and Y. Once we've done this, we're going to make sure that both X and Y are both 0. The reason why we're doing this is because I notice sometimes you guys get a little bit too excited and accidentally kind of move the actual intro screen. So this just makes sure that it has a particular point that it locks into. So when you click on the green flag, it just goes back to that point again. When you guys actually add this block, it may actually shift your intro screen just a tad bit. If that happens to you, don't worry. It meant to happen sometimes. So you can just go into your costumes tab. You can zoom out a bit. Use your select tool and make a big selection. And you can just go ahead and move it to about where you want it. And then once you've done that, you should be all set. So now again, if you move it and click on the green flag, it just goes back to where it was. So we're going to go into our looks tab next, and then we're going to add a show block. And then we're going to add a go to front layer. This is just to make sure that it's all the way at the top and it's not blocking anything from our actual game from happening. We're going to go next to our variable tab and we're going to make a variable. We're going to call this ghost effect. Once you have this, make sure it's for this sprite only. So that's important. And you're going to click OK. You've known you've done it correctly because when the sprite is for all, it'll just say ghost effect by itself. But when it's for this sprite only, it's going to specify which sprite can only use that variable. And that's the thumbnail. So if you see here, it says thumbnail. Same way as my actual name of my sprite. And then it says ghost effect. So I can go ahead and click on the little blue check mark just to hide it. And then I'm going to add a set block. And once I've done that, I'm just going to go ahead and change the variable to ghost effect and leave this at 0. So now that I've done this, I'm going to go back into looks. And I'm going to add a set block as well. We're going to change this to ghost. And then the effect, we're actually going to use our variable for this. So we're going to use our ghost effect bubble and we're going to add it in. Once we've done that, we're going to go into control, wait 2 seconds. So the reason why we're doing this is because we don't want to always add a bunch of ghost effect in order to slowly make the thumbnail disappear. So we can do this actually by code. And what we're going to do is we're going to repeat until. I'm going to go into operators and use our equal sign. And we're going to go into our variables, use our ghost effect, and change this to 100. So this is going to keep on repeating until our ghost effect equals 100, which means that this ghost effect is going to slowly start changing that number because this bubble is holding the number that we have. And when this becomes 1, this becomes 1. When this becomes 2, this becomes 2, and it's going to repeat itself. So now to make sure in the inside we're changing it, we're going to, in our variable, add a change block, change this to ghost effect, and then we're going to set this to 10. Okay. Once we've done that, we're going to go ahead and go into looks, add another set block, change color to ghost, and then we're going to add the ghost effect bubble here. So I'm just going to do a quick little shortcut, hover over the ghost effect variable bubble that I already have, right click or use 2 fingers down on the mouse pad, duplicate, and then add it in. So now what it's doing is, okay, so I'm going to keep on repeating until my ghost effect is 100. So my ghost effect is 10. I make now my ghost effect 10. Is it 10 equal to 100? Nope. So now I'll do it again. So now I'm adding 10 again. So now I'm 20. So now I'm changing the ghost effect by 20. Is my ghost effect, now that my ghost effect is 20, is it equal to 100? No. So then it'll just keep on repeating until it finally reaches 100, and then it's going to stop. Now, even though ghost effect completely hides it, just to make sure to give that extra security, we're going to go into looks, and we're going to add another hide block. And then we're going to set our ghost effect back to 0 just to restart it. And then we're going to go into our events and we're going to broadcast green flag. So this code is specifically for when we are starting our game. The next code that we're going to create is going to be for after. So we're going to go into our events tab. We're going to use when I receive. We're going to change this to win. So when I receive win, we want to do a couple of stuff. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to wait 3 seconds. And actually, the majority of this code actually stays the same. So we're just going to right-click on the go to, duplicate this, and add it to our other side. So now that we have this for our win, we want it to actually be the opposite. And you can see it already started doing it. We want it to actually be the opposite. So since we're actually doing the reverse, where we're actually going to show back our thumbnail instead of hiding it, our ghost effect is actually going to be set to 100. So we're changing this set ghost effect to 100. And then after that, this ghost effect, since it's already 100, we're going to do the opposite. So we're going to make sure it's going to be 0. And then to make sure instead of going up, it goes down, we're changing this from 10 to negative 10. Okay. Once we have this, we don't actually need this hide since we're going to be showing up. So we're just going to leave this ghost effect to 0. We're going to remove this broadcast green flag since that starts our game. But what we are going to do is we're going to make sure that you can't play the game after that. So we're going to go into our control. We're going to add a stop all underneath it. So these are the 2 blocks of code that we just finished doing. So now if I click on my green flag, you can see my thumbnail and you see that it hides. And now you see that it starts my level. So we won't be able to obviously test out the winning sprite block of code that we created until we're actually done coding our player.